This is a quick refresher on standard 8.EE.5 comparing rates in word problems, graphs, and tables. So the rate of a speed of a train on the East Coast is shown in the graph below. A train on the West Coast traveled 465 miles in 3 hours and then 775 miles in 5 hours. Which train is traveling at a faster rate and by how much? So I'm going to first identify my question after reading the problem. I'm looking for the faster train so the faster rate and by how much. So this is telling me I need to find the constant rate, which is also the slope. So I'm going to do the East Coast train, which is our graph first. I need to find both east and west, so I'm going to split up my paper into two. So if I have a graph and I want to find the rate of speed, I first need to find a clear point where I can tell exactly the y and exactly the x. So I'm going to use this point right here at 300 miles in 2 hours. Now when my line goes through the origin, or it starts at 0, 0, I only need to find one point, and I need to divide. So I always need to do my y, so 300 over my x2. 300 divided by 2 is 150 to 1. So that is my rate. It's 150 miles per hour. So now for the West Coast train, I'm going to use the information that I have. I have 465 miles in 3 hours. So just to make sure, since it's a graph, or since it's not a graph, I'm not sure right now if it goes through the origin. So I'm going to use both points to find my rate of change. And then in 5 hours, it's 775. So remember, to do this, I need to find the difference in the y and the difference in the x. So this is an increase of 310 and an increase in 2 hours. So again, I'm going to do my y change over my x, and 310 divided by 2 is 155 rate. So that's 155 miles per hour. So now the faster rate, if they're both traveling for an hour, the one that goes farther is clearly faster. So it's the West Coast train is faster by 5 miles per hour. Because 155 minus 150 is 5. Alright, so Kaylee and Justin both hire tutors for math and pay them per hour. Justin pays his tutor according to the equation y equals 28.5x, where y is the amount paid for x number of hours. The table below shows how much Kaylee paid her tutor. If both paid for 5 hours of tutoring, which statement is true? So I've read the problem at least. I need to identify my question, which is just looking at the answer choices to figure out which one is true. So I know that they are both paying for 5 hours. So I'm going to need to compare and find out how much each paid for 5 hours using the equation and constant rate. So Justin's equation is given to us. It's saying that he's going to pay y $28.50 for each hour. That's his constant rate. So if we want to know how much he paid for 5 hours, I'm going to do $28.50 for the 1 hour times the 5 hours, and I'm going to get $142.50. So now I need to find the equation to find the rate per hour for Kaylee. So I'm already given a table. So I need to find the difference in the y. So 336 minus 128, which is an increase in $208. And then the difference in the hours is 6.5. So we need to divide y divided by x to get my rate. 208 divided by 6.5. And $32 is her hourly rate. So y, the cost, is $32 per hour. 32x. So for 5 hours, we're going to do 32 times 5. And we get 160. So now, just by looking at this, I can tell that Kaylee paid more and Justin paid less. So let's look at our answer choices. It says Justin paid $3.50 less than Kaylee. So right now I see that we're talking about the difference between the two. So I first need to subtract to find the difference between what they paid. So it's going to be 160 minus 142.50. And I'm going to get $17.50. So automatically I can eliminate A and B because the difference between them is $17.50, not $3.50. So now C says that Justin paid less and D says Kaylee paid less. So when I look back at my table, I can see that Justin paid the smaller amount. So our answer choice is going to be C. Justin paid $17.50 less than Kaylee. And the last type of comparing problems could be when you're given a table and a graph. So this says the table shows the cost of tomatoes at Roger's store. The graph shows the cost of tomatoes at Lisa's store. Miss Wiley needs 2 pounds of tomatoes for a saucepan. I want to know which statement is true. So again, this is one of the ones that I need to find out the information for a certain number. So I need to figure out how much she's going to pay at each store for the 2 pounds she needs. And then I can look at the answer choices to compare and see which one is true. So again, first, before I can find the 2 pounds, I need to find the constant rate. How much is she going to pay for 1 pound of tomatoes? So the difference in these y values, $12.25 minus $7.35 is $4.90, and the difference there is 2. So $4.90 divided by 2 is going to give me $2.40 per pound. So Roger's store, y equals $2.45 per pound. Lisa's store, I'm going to find a clear point that I can tell exactly the y and exactly the x. The other point is going through the origin 0, 0, so I just need to divide out the y, so 10 divided by 4, and that's going to give me $2.50 per pound. So at Lisa's store, the equation y, the cost is going to be $2.50 times x. So now I need to plug in my 2 pounds, which she needs. So $2.45 times 2 is going to give us $4.90. She'll pay at Roger's store, and at Lisa's store, she's going to pay $2.50 per pound. So for 2 pounds, it's going to be $5. So let's look at answer choice A. It says that it'll cost 10 cents more at Roger's store. So again, they're looking at the comparison, so I need to subtract. So $5 minus $4.90, that's a 10-cent difference. So right now I can eliminate C and D because that one is mentioning and talking about a 5-cent difference, and it's 10 cents. So A is it'll cost more at Roger's store, and B is it'll cost less at Roger's store. Roger's store, she's going to pay $4.90. That is less than $5 at Lisa's store. So our answer is going to be B. It'll cost 10 cents less at Roger's store compared to Lisa's.